Cities are full of skyscrapers, concrete, cars, pollution, traffic. But here we are in this unique oasis, which is a rooftop garden. Rooftop gardens in cities are really a unique solution to getting green space and trees and shrubs really right into the downtown core. Rooftop gardens have some very unique challenges. Effectively, it's like a giant planting pot. These are concrete boxes that are filled with imported soils, so it's very different than a natural forest floor or even a park setting that we're going to have down on street level. Nutrients are going to have to be brought in. We're going to have to ensure that these soils can continue to feed these trees, and we're going to have to make sure that these trees can grow and their roots can properly develop in these relatively limited soil volumes.
When we got up here, we couldn't believe the sheer size of these trees, let alone to see an amber maple on the 8th floor terrace. I haven't seen the size of these amber maples on the ground level, growing in a backyard or whatnot. We really wanted to preserve these trees as best we can, along with the Japanese silk lilacs. Very, very impressive species of trees. So really we wanted to do as much preservation, pruning as we could up here, really shortening the limbs, reduction of weight in the upper canopy, dead wood, just an overall maintenance plan for these trees.
Wind and exposure to the elements is another big challenge for these terrace gardens. Wind will come howling through between these buildings. You can imagine the force that that's going to put on these trees. So we take that into careful consideration when we're pruning the canopies. We want to make sure that they're structurally stable. We'll be shortening limbs, reducing sections that are weak, looking for weak attachments. We're also going to install support cables in these trees to hold them together. You can imagine it would be devastating to lose a large leader out of a tree that's been growing up here for 45 years. So it's really important that we're proactive in preservation.
Some of the pruning strategies, especially for the shrubs, where we really needed to go in there, remove all the dead stuff, remove some of the older leaders of the shrubs in order for that new sucker growth to come up, fill up the interior of it, and just to thicken everything up and to grow properly. And really, separation was very key, just so things can grow and just to create more usable space in these garden beds for annuals or new plantings and whatnot. Some of the challenges working on a terrace garden like this, especially during the winter months, the cold played a huge factor up here. We're basically working in a wind tunnel, and also logistically getting brush off of the terrace rather than taking it through the building. We decided to set up a series of ropes and pulleys to lower it down 8 stories to the ground level, where then our truck and chipper was stationed. For the future of this garden, we really want to look into succession planting. We planted 4 lilac shrubs today. As these plants mature, yes, we're going to suffer some losses up here, and we want to start planting some smaller stuff now, so when those losses do happen and we have to remove some of these larger trees due to either their declining or reducing weight from the terrace level, we want to make sure that we're just not starting with a blank slate. Things are starting to grow and fill in the gaps as those trees have to come down. Being an arborist on this particular project is very important to us to think in the future, to be proactive with proper pruning cuts, dealing with problems before they arise, and also adding the proper nutrients to these trees and shrubs. For example, the ash trees, we want to make sure that we're injecting them every year, and then replenishing all the nutrients and biology, bacteria into that depleted soils.
After a lot of careful planning, detailed execution, follow-up, and inspection, we stand in the garden today and take in the natural beauty of this space. From everyone at Cohen & Master, we'd like to thank you for inviting us to work in this space. It's been an extremely satisfying project for us, and we're so happy to support you going into the future to ensure that this will be enjoyed by generations to come.